What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Business of Strength podcast. I'll be your host today, Dan Goodman, and I am joined by a longtime client of the Business of Strength and friend, Eric Pullman. Eric is a super impressive gym owner. He is 25 years old. He has been in the Business of Strength Strongest Year program going on 5 years now, since he's 20 years old, signed up when he was training people in the backyard, and just has an incredible story of growth, discipline, and perseverance as a young gym business entrepreneur. Really a super insightful dude, wise beyond his years, and an episode you are really going to enjoy. Before we jump into that conversation, I want to remind you that the Underground Strength Con 3.0 with our good friend Zach Evanesh is going to be happening on November 15th and 16th. The event will be brought to you by our good friends at Turnkey Coach. We are going to have some incredible speakers, from Coach Joe Ken to Coach Ron McKeefery, Brian Bott, Derek Tailish. We are going to bring the heat for you. It's going to be an amazing event right here at Varsity House Gym in Orangeburg, November 15th and 16th. We hope to see you there. Without further ado, here's my conversation with Eric. Hope you enjoy.
Hey everybody, I'm really excited to announce a new partner, Turnkey Coach, a platform built by coaches for coaches that empowers fitness professionals to deliver online coaching with a human touch. Their all-in-one platform streamlines client connection, programming, payments, community, and progress tracking, and more. And we're loving it so far. It's been amazing, and by far some of the best customer service that we've ever had with any company we work with. This simply isn't an ad for Turnkey Coach. I've been in conversation with Andrew Jackson, Turnkey Coach's co-founder and chief operating officer, for nearly a year, learning the ins and outs of their approach, the platform's functionality to maximize the coach and the client experience by saving time and maximizing revenue for our gyms specifically, while also improving the quality of the service that our client receives. It was really important to us that we had a all-in-one platform that really brought our training programs to life and made it simple, easy, and effective for our coaches staff to deliver, but also gave our clients a new perspective on their training, their results, the data that they're tracking. After those conversations, it really became clear that Turnkey Coach was the right fit to be the exclusive coaching platform for Varsity House gyms and all of our gyms moving forward, to help each location and each coach really maximize their impact in the community. You'll hear more soon about Turnkey Coach and at Business of Strength events and on our podcast. But if you're looking to build a scalable, professional coaching practice with less stress, head to turnkeycoach.coach and check out the free resources available, or book a call with a member of their team. You won't regret it. Again, turnkeycoach.coach. That's the platform you want to be using. They're really exceptional at what they're doing, and we can't believe we waited this long to make the switch.
Eric Pullman, welcome to the Business of Strength podcast. This is a proud day to take Kid Wonder, somebody who's been in the Business of Strength mastermind, I think, since you were like 17 years old. And now you are on teaching others about the breakthrough journey and all the successes you've had as a young business owner. So Eric, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me, Dan.
So for the people that don't know Eric Pullman, give us the 60-second spiel on who you are and what you do.
So I own a gym on Long Island, New York, and we train adults and athletes. Athletes, sports performance. Adults are the 40 plus, 50 plus, fat loss, get out of pain kind of thing.
Awesome. So for the people that don't know, how old are you now, Eric?
I'm 25.
And how long have you owned BreakThrough Performance? You've had a rebrand and those types of things,
Yeah,
but how long have you been doing it?
I would say I started the business in 2020, in April of 2020, like when I turned 20.
when you turned 20 and you were in your parents' backyard with tires and like the old Zach Evanesh gym?
Exactly. So I had to deal with my friend had like this little garage off his house, and it was COVID. We weren't doing anything, and we all trained out of there. And then I just started like bringing kids in there. I bought equipment for that gym, and then he used it, my friends used it, and then I used it to train people, of course.
So started at 20. Why training? Like what's the story on like how you like were like, hey, I'm gonna start training people for money. What's the what
Yeah.
led you to
So
that point?
so I got into it in like 10th grade, going in 10th grade, getting more serious with wrestling. And wrestling, like, you need to be strong and physical. I was not. And I just started watching YouTube videos. All my friends were into it. So we would hang out, we would talk about it, and we would, instead of watching a movie, we would watch YouTube of, some people like Mark Bell's videos and people like that. And we were all just obsessed. So a close friend group of us for 2 years straight, that's all we watched, all we talked about.
And how did you know you were like, okay, well, I'm gonna start actually trying to train other people, or was it more or less people started asking you for training advice?
So, I mean, it could have started earlier where I was in college and, still obsessed with this stuff 24/7. Like, I didn't watch, I had no like, that was my entertainment. Never a show, never a movie, just like YouTube videos of random, stuff that I thought was good. So, I remember a time I was just like, I feel like I know a lot about this stuff, being obsessed with it for a few years. I feel like I could help other people who are getting into it now. So I just posted something on Instagram. A few people were doing it, and I was doing online coaching for 20 bucks a month for whoever wanted to do it.
And didn't along the way you started interning at the university you were going to, and you ended up becoming a Division I strength and conditioning coach?
Yeah, so I guess that was a couple years in. I, that was even a few years later where I was doing that, and then I got home, stayed home from college. COVID hit, and a couple people asked me to train them. So I was like, sure, I guess. We were doing 10 bucks a session. Um,
In
felt
2020.
yeah,
Yeah.
felt weird even getting money. And so then there was a kid riding his bike past my house, a few years younger than me, wrestled for the high school, so that's how I knew him. I was like, "Yeah, we should train. Come to this garage. Cool. How much should I owe you? I don't know. Give me 20 bucks. If you get a friend, next week's free." That turned into 32 kids in 2 months. And it was like we had the 8 o'clock, the 9 o'clock, the 10 o'clock, like 4 or 5
Yeah.
kids at a time. Kids are coming in as kids are leaving, talking trash, like, and I mean, out of that group, we had multiple Division I college athletes, football, throwing. You know, I'm, me, like I'm 5'6", 160 pounds. We were training kids at 6'4", 260, offensive linemen, D1, like, and they were loving it. And it was just, you know,
And you
how it
were
is back in the
20 and
day.
you were 20 years old.
And they were 18, yeah. And it was still like, it was
I
just
love
great.
that.
Yeah.
I love that. So obviously there's a lot that's happened in the last 5 years, and we always joke that um, out of anybody that I know, I don't know if I haven't met a 20-year-old, 21, 22-year-old person that's been willing to invest as much into themselves, into their career development than you. Like, how did you know that you were gonna, well, I guess after training 32 kids, but how did you know that you were gonna actually professionalize this business? And then once you did, went out and hired some help literally right away. There's not many people that do that. So really, what was the precipice of knowing like, hey, well, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go learn from somebody that's been there, done that?
Yeah. So it started probably before that. When I had, tons of chronic hip pain from age 17 and on. Before that, I had shoulder pain. And so when I got obsessed with training, I would learn stuff and it would help. It was like, oh, this guy said this, I do it, and it's good. So I think just from there, I was just like, okay, I don't know anything. And there's more out there because you meet a random person, and for some reason, that is the thing that helps you. And there's just so much more out there. So I joined I had the roster of 30 kids, and I joined one of your seminars from Adam, from a trainer. And I was like, Adam's good at training, so I'm just going to join this thing. You guys said a bunch of stuff that I implemented immediately on a free webinar, and it was so helpful. So I was like, okay, well, I should probably learn more from these guys.
But even beyond that, because then you actually took the leap of faith. If memory serves me correctly, I think you paid for the year in full, like off of a free webinar. Like, what's going through your head and I think you were starting the business, you were subleasing space in a wrestling studio, and you
Hmm.
were still a part-time assistant coach at LIU, correct?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you were living home and you were like, I'm gonna spend not an insignificant amount of money, and I'm just gonna go all on this. Like, what's going through your head at that point?
I don't know. There really wasn't like
Just
other
action.
options. Yeah, I was like, all right, what's the worst that could happen? I remember having a conversation with my dad when you like DM'd me, and he's like, is this guy full of shit? And I was like, no, they're great. Like they own gyms, they're real. And he's like, okay, well, at your age, I was paying for rent, and you're living at home, so just spend the money that you pay for rent, and be grateful that you're living at home. And I was like, all right, why not? That was really it.
And now you've been bitten by the education bug. I know you boast now that nobody spends more in education than Eric Pullman.
Yeah, and probably even before 20, training stuff, getting obsessed with training, like spending on random courses, just nonstop.
So I speak to that because there's a lot of people, and I was one of those people. It took me until, probably I was 30 years old to really go, okay, in order to get the next, few percentage points out of our business, we need an external eye. Before that, it was 100% product focus. And I don't think that there's anything bad, but you you can be developing product and still getting outside mentorship on the business side of things. So how did you know there needed to be a 50-50 split or whatever the split was early on, like in your career, before you even graduated from college?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just like when I watch other people do things, there's just nothing special about them. So if the actions they're taking are giving them a certain, return on what they're doing, okay, I just need to do the actions they're doing and I'll get the same return. And I just think education is so cheap. Like what it costs for a month to be a part of this group, you're gonna make 10 times that in your first month. It's so cheap. It's ridiculously cheap. And if you don't think it is, like that's you. That like there are other people doing things that you could be doing. So if you're not doing them, then it's because you don't know. So just go learn how to do it.
So in terms of the things that you've that's a great testimonial. Thank you. But what's like when you think about the timeline of your business, let's call it, like, when did you sign the current lease of the place that you're in?
That was July of 2023.
So we're just over 2 years.
Mhm.
What type of growth has your business experienced in the last 2 years?
So we started. I mean, look, I joined the group. We had three personal training adults and one kid. So, I mean, look, you know how it goes where you're doing small group training and there's one kid in your whole entire roster, um, where there's three adults. So, the amount of money I'm making from that right away. And then fast forward 2 years, I was able to build it up to, let's say, like 8 to 10,000 a month in the wrestling club. And then the month I signed the lease for a bunch of new equipment and all kinds of stuff. We did 7,000 that July.
Wow. And where are we at today? You don't have to
Uh,
disclose exact figures if you don't want, but just a
sure. I mean,
relation
I
percentage
could even
wise.
just say, yeah, like we in July 2023 we did 7,000, and July 2024 we did 31,000,
Yeah, it's amazing.
and then beyond that now. So, and just staying consistent and you know, we're working for even more. So
Yeah. You're somebody that's always asking too, like, hey, who should I be learning from? What books, what courses? And you're not shy to dabble in trying new things and even things outside the industry, which I think is so cool. And when we were out in Arizona, we were having lunch together and we were talking about some of those experiences. And I've been over the years to a lot of different things inside the industry and outside. And a question that came up is like, has there ever been a time where you went and invested the time and money and didn't feel like you got an ROI?
you know, maybe especially like small courses online, if you spend like 100, $200 on like a course, but even then to get $200 back, like you just gotta
Yeah.
keep you just gotta keep a member for another month. That's all
Yeah.
you have to do. That's
So
I don't know. That's why I'm just like I don't know. It's really hard to quantify, but I mean, you can't keep another member for another month, like based on one thing from a $200 course. It's probably on you.
yeah, and to that point, just pulling it out of you is what do you think the problem is when people go to something or an event or whatever it is? Like it's the same content. So really, why have you been able to just kick ass like over and over again? What is it? What piece of advice could you give somebody going to an event or trying to implement something in their business? Like what is it that's been unique about you that just like it seems like you go to something and you leave and I hear from you a month later and you're like, yeah, I just hit a PR. Like, it's like, dude, what's happening there?
uh, I don't know. I just don't think that there's anything that others are doing that I can't do, so I might as well just do it. And also I think like starting super early and nailing down the model was really important for me,
Yeah,
where anything you guys implement, I mean, our model's pretty similar to where we don't have to change too much.
yeah,
Tactically, we can take and use right away. Where I hear about some of these models from the gyms that just I get where it can be all over the place and you're in too deep, so you can't change it. And yeah, I don't know.
yeah. And more specifically though, like the big thing that I see in you is the discipline that you have and the quick action that you take.
Yeah,
Is that
but
is that fair?
that's it's also the accountability. Like, you know, the first I think Adam said we had in 2 years we had 90 meetings that were exactly the same. Exactly. And that was before, you know, we probably had 20, we started that meeting, we had 13 members. You know, we're close to 100 now.
Yeah,
That meeting was, you know, what's your, you know, what's your pluses, what's your minuses, how many members you at, what was good, what do we need to do next week, what are we thinking? Every single week for
yeah.
2 years before we even really had, you know, 13 people. And that was the meeting until we had 50.
It's
Nothing changed.
it's pressure.
Yeah. And when I get on, you know, if I'm gonna get on call with you when we spoke about something last time, I, I'm not gonna, you know, not do the thing and be like, yeah, I don't know what happened and make an excuse. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to just, you know, give you, hey, I did it. Here's what happened.
Yeah, it's accountability to yourself. Doing what you said you were going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge, man. Speaking of that, there's a lot of kids, and I know I was one of those kids at 20 years old. I cared about two things. I cared about football and the party after the game. School, I did just enough to where I didn't have to go to study hall and I could fly under the radar. And I wish I took it a little bit more seriously. Honestly, hindsight's 2020. But ever since I met you, you've been extremely disciplined with your focus on the business and also your focus with training and just really being mature beyond beyond your years. Connor or Derek might speak differently about you, but that's my perception. And what are some things that you do to keep yourself grounded and rooted as a just a somebody that's really kicking ass and really has the opportunity to go and party or do or carry on or do whatever? Like how do you stay disciplined what does your training look like? What does your routines look like that you could share with others?
So even from like that was one of the first things I got from your from the first time I joined that in 2020, where like I just always wanted this thing to be super professional. So even when kids were coming in and out of my basement, like I was obsessed with scheduling.
Yeah.
Like there was never a, oh, sorry, I canceled last second, or like any bullshit like that. Ever, 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 ever. Um, I was never not wearing, one of our shirts. My hair was never not done. Ever. Not one time is anything like that happening. Is the gym not going to be super clean? We were at the back of a wrestling club. I felt like cleaning was a full-time job for me, but it was always going to be clean. Things were always going to be on time. I will stay an extra half hour. I will just be obsessed with the people that, you know, are investing in me to get help from. So, to this day, I'm still obsessed with the training, the people. I love it. And I love being like professional about that. So, forever we were in, not the nicest places, but everything was as nice as it could be, just from the service side of it. So I always took that extremely seriously. And, myself, my routine is pretty simple. Like this is the main part of, what I do. I'm gonna start working every day. I'll wake up, work out, um, Monday through Friday, elliptical, then lift, then run, you know. And after that, shower, get ready for work, get on work, stop working around like 8-ish every night. So, and then that's really it. Like Saturday, Sunday morning, I like to work. Monday through, Monday morning until Friday dinner, I like to work. And then, that's just what I like to do. All my meals are prepped for the whole entire week. My training's locked in. I log every single workout. It just, I don't know, I just enjoy it.
You're locked in, man. You're locked in.
But
The one
it's not like locked in. I'm not like a robot. When I say I work from 8 to 8, it doesn't mean like I
all
don't
day.
take my eyes off the screen. I eat 3 meals in the in that time.
Right.
Um, but it's just my work. So like I don't know. I'm just at work the whole time. So that probably helps.
Yeah. And you're at that stage where you don't have a lot of things that are vying for your time, where there could be somebody listening to this like, oh yeah, when I was 25, I could do that too. Well, my counter to that was, did you have the discipline to do that, or were you going out on Thirsty Thursday and then getting up to train people at 5 a.m. on Friday? The one
Yeah,
thing
like
on
that.
that, just veering off track here, Eric, a little bit, is I think it's important for people to understand that you talked scheduling and you talked um training. You talked that you also have, and I know this, you have flexibility of time. And
Hmm.
something that is very hard for people as they graduate levels of business is that all of a sudden they're like, I'm doing 40 sessions, the marketing, the finances, the sales, all of it. And then they hire a full-time coach and they do 20 hours of less coaching. And you have really done a fantastic job at working through levels in the business and keeping the time rooted. So now that you do have flexibility of time, because to the listeners, you have two full-time coaches working in your space,
Hmm.
25 years old, but you're still disciplined to the work required to grow your business. So how has that changed? Like now that there is flexibility of time, how have you known to stay rooted and like, if you do want to go out on Thursday night, is it a possibility? Like, how do you kind of temper that you do have flexibility of time and where you've reallocated the resource of time to be able to grow your business?
Yeah, you've spoken about this like for the whole entire time. It's just anchors. Like you can have all the freedom in the world, but you have to have your anchors. And as long as those are done, then you're good to go. And then I also just don't want to do anything else, so it's never been like a distraction. It's always been enjoyable to do this stuff. Not that like I'm smiling ear to ear at my desk all day, but it's still enjoyable to just like try and get better and see if I can. So it's just all about like growth's our main core value. It's just grow. How
What
can
are
we
some
grow
of the
every day?
what are some of the anchors that you've kept in your schedule as the business has grown and evolved?
So at this point, it's more so like time blocks than like, we have a specific input list for our marketing. We have a specific input list for like our sales, and those things like that. I'm truly checking boxes. But for me right now, it's all about time. Like, am I devoting my first block of work to marketing, second block of work to leadership, third block of work to sales, in order every day? Every day that has to happen. If it doesn't, it's like when you don't train first thing in the morning and like, oh, I'll get it in at lunch, and then it just doesn't happen.
Never happens.
It's this, yeah, it never happens. So it's the same thing where it's like I have to do marketing and like overview, operations, vision, like that kind of stuff first. And then, middle of the day, Evan's getting off of his morning sessions. Mark's coming in before his evening sessions. Cool. We're gonna do leadership. We're all together. It's the best time for that. After that, people are getting out of work. I have to, do sales calls, and any sales kinds of stuff and things of that nature. And then after that, I'm gonna wrap up and see what else there is, and probably hop on the floor for some coaching and whatever else there is to do.
I haven't met Mark yet, but I could speak to. I know Evan will listen to this. He's like the strongest person I know. And you have stayed and have been super fit. And you see a lot of people when they're in business where it's their passion is to be strong, fast, durable, whatever it is, and then the business years start piling and their personal health starts waning. And I'm speaking out loud. I've had, I will lift every week, but I've had moments in time where it's been fully focused business and family, and the personal accountability to your own health wanes. And when that happens, you see the business could be struggling as well. So I know the two for me really align with one another. Do you see it like, how has it affected you? Because the first thing you do every day is train.
Yeah.
How does
I
that
just know
affect
that
you?
like things are going pretty okay. So even if everything goes very poorly and those things still get done, I still have, the most controllable factor controlled. So like,
Which is your training
which is my
first.
training. There's no reason, there's a million reasons things can go wrong. But like it's as simple as did you work out or not? And if you did,
What time are
then
you training
cool.
every day?
I'll wake up between 4:45 and 6:30 even. Like um like I said, I try to start working between 8 and 9, and then
Okay.
I'll always finish around 8.
So depending on how much work needs to get done in the training session determines what time you get up.
Yeah, and how late I'm there. Like there are definitely days where I try to do earlier, and I'm just like, this is
Not
ridiculous.
happening.
I left the gym at 8:45 last night.
Yeah,
Like,
not happening.
no. But it'll be between those times, and I'll always.
Yeah.
I even tried last week to like do it at lunch, or never fucking happens. So
Yeah,
I've
it's
been I've
hard,
been
dude.
really fortunate. But on that same note, like I hired a coach last probably over 2 years now, and it's $25 a week. The guy is super smart and great. Look, I know how to do this stuff. Like I can easily program for myself.
Accountability.
But yeah, my mind goes all over the place. I have new adventures and things I want to do. So I'm just like, hey, I want to start running. Cool, your program's ready next week. Move
Yeah,
on.
it's great. You don't have to worry about it.
So, and it's
Speaking,
accountability. I've never missed logging a workout. My streak is ridiculous. Like even my rest days, I'll click the check box. My streak
great.
is, we're 2 years in.
You just did a pretty cool challenge with Adam. You want to speak to that for a minute?
Yeah. So we did the Bright Angel Trail. I think it was 8.5 miles down, 8.5 miles up. I think total elevation gain was 10,000, and I finished, just under 7 hours. It was
Wow.
very, very difficult.
Was it
But
tough?
yeah, yeah, I know that like that was super tough. But
How'd Adam do?
he did well. He did well. He's never hiked outside of New Jersey, so like it's not like a very mountainous area.
Yeah, that's
I've hiked
awesome.
upstate a bunch in the snow. I hiked in New Mexico. Like so
Yeah,
it was one of the toughest things I've done. Just like freaking walk.
nice. Yeah, just keep walking. That was cool. That was awesome. You guys flew out before the retreat, and I was like, man, Adam, you better make it back in one piece. He came back the next, the day before the event. I don't think he talked to anybody all day. He's like icing his feet in the bathtub. I'm like, dude, you gonna be all right? But
Yeah,
he
I was worried. I was a little bit ahead of him, not to call him out. I was
he
worried he was gonna fall off the ledge. I was like, if I leave this guy and he falls off, that's a bad look.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, it's good. Um,
but I mean, look, even that week though, it's definitely cool. As much stress as I put on myself and pressure that I put on myself, it's cool that I can go away for a week and, have my anchors. Okay, even if I'm away, what needs to get done, what needs to get checked off. Um, I'm calling people, texting people in the car on the way, uh, just making sure what needs to get done, what's important, and yeah.
oh, it's awesome. Being that you're now becoming and you have become a savvy veteran of this game at the ripe old age of 25, what's been like a tough lesson that you've had to deal with, if any, along the journey for the last 5 years, business wise?
I, I don't know. Nothing's been that tough, honestly. Like there's so much more I can do and so much better. So I don't want to say it's all been easy. It hasn't. Like I said, I like to, work a lot and I do try very hard. But at the same time, like I think the toughest thing I've ever went through is just what I've been through, like with my hip pain and being in pain 24/7 as an 18-year-old, having no idea if it's ever going to get better. Um, like that was so much more difficult than any problem going on in the business. And then also I've been fortunate enough to join early and like I said before, have the correct model that we can work off of and I can get help from you guys. So when anything has been super difficult, I can ask for help and make quick action to get through the difficulty
Hmm.
in real time. And then also as time goes on, I always think it's bullshit when people say like, different problems when you get, when you get a bigger business, it's like they're way tougher when there's less business. That's a fact.
A hundred
Um,
percent.
like things I'm learning now is just like, okay, like, I heard the quote the other day, winners lose more than losers. And you have to be just willing to lose the most, fail the most. And that's something that's new. I think that's new at every level, I would imagine.
I don't know if we want to use a Jet quote, but I heard this quote after the Jets lost on Monday Night Football, and I am an Aaron Glenn fan. I think he's a good coach. Hopefully, he could turn them around. Not a Jet fan, but I thought this quote was good. He's like, "We first need to learn how to lose before we can win." And just to tail off what you said, it's like, you've been willing to roll with the punches and develop that scar tissue by taking action, where a lot of people are like towing the water. Should I do this? Should I do it? Should I try? And you just try it and see what sticks. And fortunately for you, a lot has stuck. If you were to go back and start over, hindsight's always 2020. Maybe a cool question could be, is there something you wish you could tell your 20-year-old self to do a little bit more of, a little bit less of? If you were talking to that guy, what would you tell him about your business right now?
I'd probably say like, treat it as a big business as quickly as you can. Like professionalize things. Um, I know it's a buzzword, but like create systems,
Mm-hmm.
things that you might not need initially. Like I know a thing that I was doing always from the very beginning was having like my lead sheet, like way before CRM. It was like check your lead sheet every day. And it's the same three leads all, all month, but I'm still checking the lead sheet every day. I'm following up with people. Are all the set like the schedule's perfect, cool, like all those things. Um, if you don't do it now, it's just gonna become more of a problem in the future.
That's
So,
great advice. If
yeah.
if somebody's listening to this and they're feeling inspired by you and your story, and they're a coach in another business, or there's somebody that's they've been in the garage and they've been thinking about going out on their own, or they have started a business and they're really struggling, like, what's one piece of advice you'd give them besides having a lead sheet?
Um, I mean, it has to be just like learn from others. There's someone that's probably doing it better than you, and they're probably putting in more time than than you might be. I know people work a lot, so I can't say that, but like, I don't know. I think it's underestimated, like how much people are really valuing things, and like how much they care. When I hear people being done at like 6 o'clock on like a Tuesday, it's just not possible. You can't. There's nothing else you should be doing other than learning and trying to improve. And I don't know. You've also said to me like I think I'm also pretty competitive, where it's that quote of like someone's working harder than you, so like continue to work. Um, there's someone probably investing more than you in their business. So if they open up next to you tomorrow, like what's going to happen? They work more than you, they invest more, they learn more. You know, I
It,
don't know. I don't know if that's helpful, but
no, it is because a lot of times people will they'll think they get to a certain point where there is no more investment in self. And I just see, like, every time, like, every inflection point of success in our business was due to the development of a skill, not only with myself, but with another leader on our team, or with hiring and empower someone to do something different in our business or more of in our business. And you said it, like, how can you be done at Tuesday at 6 o'clock? Again, different stages of business require different things. If you are in the first couple of years of business, I totally agree with you. Like, you can't be done at 6 o'clock. And even last night, he got home, went for haircuts, took Chase to the golf range. We had family dinner, put him to bed last night from 8:15 p.m. to 11:15 p.m. It's quarter end.
you sent me one thing. One time you sent me something at like freaking past midnight, and it's just
It,
like I don't know. It probably wasn't even that crazy to you. It's probably just normal.
it's it you there's certain seasons, and right now, quarter end, the week of quarter end, I have town hall next week. I got to compress all of our numbers. We've got the underground coming up. There's things that need to get done for that. But I also think about it in a sprint, as do you, where, what, this upcoming weekend, I don't need to work. But I
Mhm.
also don't look at work the same way you do. Like, if I listen to a podcast about our industry, I like learning about that.
Yeah, yeah.
If I watch Bigger, Faster, Stronger on Netflix, I'm watching as a fan. Am I getting some things from it? Sure. I think there's education everywhere. It could be found. Last week, we went to Strong New York, Kenny Santucci's event. I listened to an amazing presentation by a Navy SEAL. I would go there as a fan, even if I didn't have a gym. So I think
Yeah.
you have to have that perception of, like, I am a student. Whereas when I was in college, I would have never said I'm a student. I would be like, I'm a football player. Now, as I've gotten older, is I am a student. I am forever learning. And I know you're into jujitsu. Like, it's the white belt mentality of, and you have it, you've been bit by that bug where it's like you're so curious about what you don't know. And curiosity, if something that, you are competitive, but you are also very curious, asking questions constantly, which is a gift.
I think also like look, I say all this stuff and I don't want to sound like I'm perfect at all. All this schedule stuff, like it doesn't always go perfectly. And it's not it might not sound as crazy as it is. Like I am 25. I live alone. Um, I don't have kids or anything like that. So all that stuff is, yeah, I don't want to sound perfect with all this stuff. Um, I think another hidden thing that's really special for me is that I enjoy it all.
Mm-hmm.
And if you enjoy it, then you're going to listen to the podcast, on a Sunday while you're meal prepping because it's enjoyable. I wouldn't want to listen to anything else. Um, so I think that's like part of it. I have the opportunity to do it. I'm grateful for that, and I enjoy doing it. So
Why not?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Well, what's on the horizon for Breakthrough? Like, what does the next year look like for you guys?
Yeah, we're just going to try to, you know, pack out pack out this current breakthrough, get the capacity, take it from there, and then also from our side, just operationalize everything as much as possible to the point where we're dialed in week to week with all of our calendars, all of our systems, and things are extremely repeatable. So on the back end, that, and then on the outside, like back out the gym, make everything run smoothly. Um, yeah, and then we'll see what happens.
Cool. All right, awesome. I love that. How many members are you going to have by December 31st, 2026?
Uh,
Putting you on the spot. I got some quick hitters for you right now. That's a hard
let's
hitting one.
yeah. I could tell you our goal January 1st,
Okay.
2026 is 40 athletes, 60 adults.
100. I love it.
Yeah. And then we
Good.
have personal training is I was told not to count that. So
Okay. All right, good. All right, so I
yeah.
got some quick hitters for you here for the listeners. What are 2 to 3 books? You can pick one, but let's say 1 to 3 books every coach should read. What's a mandatory
My
reading at Breakthrough?
hmm, my super honest answer is just pay people who have read all the books and that are doing the things you're doing. Like stop trying to figure it out on your own. You
Okay.
guys combined have read so much more than I have. And yeah, I listen to audiobooks and I listen to podcasts nonstop, but just like you have to just pay people who've done, who have 20 years of experience.
Oh, I
So
love
like
that.
all of our, like a lot of our education in the onboarding is listen to these courses, listen to all of these podcasts. We went through the Google Drive of all the videos you've shared from all the seminars. Like that's quicker to me.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
if it's a
love that.
shortcut, but
No, that's good. That is a shortcut. That's great. What's a quote you live by, Eric?
we have consistency over everything on the wall in the gym. We've had that for the past few years.
I think you have a John Wooden quote in the gym as well.
Yeah, we have
John Wooden,
I don't know the quote.
never
Never
mistake
mistake
act.
activity for achievement.
Yeah, love that one. Awesome. Cool, man. Well, listen, for the people that have drawn inspiration from you and might want to send you an email or DM, where can they find you, Eric?
Um, you could follow me at eric.pullman on Instagram or BreakThrough Performance LI on Instagram. Um, DM us there. Reach out, please. I've had conversations with people and it's always very helpful on both sides. So, whatever stage. I had a conversation recently with someone who's doing a lot of personal training and they asked me about it and they're like, don't you still want to train? And it's like, yes, I coached for 3 hours yesterday, helping
Right.
out. It's extremely enjoyable. I loved it. An athlete session, an adult session. I did a nutrition call. Like, I love training. But yeah.
Things evolve.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome. Eric, this was a great episode for somebody that's listening to this. Man, I wish I was 25 and was able to listen to this episode. So thank you for coming on the Business of Strength podcast. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
Awesome. Until next time, everybody, peace out.